All right, I got Miss Tracy's 2006 Malibu Max here, and we need to change the thermostat on this puppy today. I'm also fighting an evap leak, so sorry for the hesitation there. But right now in this video, we're gonna do the thermostat. So first things first, we're going to take off this here coolant reservoir cap. And this coolant looks gross. So while we're at it, we're gonna flush it out. Oh, should probably plug all this back in, or I forget to do that later. It's the evap purge valve that I've been messing with. All right, cap is off. Sorry, I thought I just saw a crack right there, but I did not. All right, cap is off. Look at that dirty coolant in there. Ewy. So now we're gonna get it, I'm gonna get it up in the air. You can crawl underneath the front, and we're gonna get the radiator draining. All right, here we are. You're gonna go right up underneath the passenger side here, and you will see the little drain valve thingy. Looks like it's gonna be pretty tough to get to, so I'm gonna grab some needle nose pliers. We'll grab it with needle nose and start to work it upward. Oh yeah. All right, so what I did is I went up through this hole, brought my needle nose pliers in like this, and got it across, and used that. Oh God, I'm bad. And use that to twist. So there we go. Let me get this thing all the way out of here. And we should be able to drain out all this nasty old coolant here. And when I bring this car back down, we'll be ready to work on the thermostat. All right, so here we are. We got our coolant drained. So let's get in here and get to this thermostat. So your thermostat housing is this pipe right here, directly underneath the throttle body, that has these two hoses running to it. So the first thing we're gonna do is get rid of this air duct right here. So what you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna wanna get this line off the side here, which looks like it just goes in with a rubber grommet, just like that. Hopefully I got that on camera, but you just pull it up, nothing holding it. We got a flat head for this band clamp here, and then we'll have a flat head on this band clamp here, and then we will have this 2mm bolt that holds this whole intake piping up, and we can take this whole piece out right here. Then the question will be, do we take the throttle body off to get better access to it, or are we just gonna do it down underneath it? I think we're gonna do it down underneath it to make this as least invasive as possible. So let me get all these fasteners off, and then I'll show you how we pull this puppy out of here. It's real easy. Here we are. So our fasteners are free, so we're gonna just give it a wiggle that direction, wiggle this direction here. Now it's nice and free. We'll rotate it out of there. Yay! All right, so the next step is going to be to remove these two hoses off of the thermostat housing. You need to do this because this pipe's in the way, so you can't leave them on and just swing it out. I don't think it'll clear. It might, actually. No, we're going to try and do this without taking those hoses off at all. So we're going to go right at the bolts here. We got a 13mm down yonder where I'm pointing. Let me see if I can get my camera in there. It's right there. The other one is on the top cattywampus for it, directly under the throttle body. I'm gonna grab a 3-inch extension and a 13mm, and we're gonna just shoot those out, see what happens. We do expect to lose some coolant here that didn't come out when we drained it, but that is a-okay. Then I think we can actually pull this entire thing out this side right here. I'm gonna unplug the throttle body and get this wire out of the way just in case. And I'll probably I'm gonna pull this clip right here. We'll get some push pin removal tools. We'll pull this hose off of here so it's not being retained anymore. Actually, it looks like it just splits open, so we'll do that. And I'll pull this free up here on the reservoir as well, so that way it can go for a ride, and we'll just try and slide it out behind that pipe right there. All right, we're gonna try this without removing those hoses. We may have to remove them at the end. I may also have to unplug the throttle body to get out of the way, but I did disconnect the hose from there. You just squeeze the clamp, slide it back, twist it, and pull it off. And here we go. We got a 13mm short on a 3-inch extension, and that should allow us to fit our ratchet right down in here. Knocked the camera over. And that combination gives us the perfect distance to work right outside the throttle body here. Let me see. I'm not sure if you can see that or not, but break this bolt loose there. It's not super tight. That's good. Now we'll go to the top one. Good combination for both. All right, now that those are out, let's break it free. There we go. And slide it on out of there. Hooray! We do need to pull this plug off for clearance. So let me grab, this little thing comes out right there. Then this, I think, slides up, yeah. And that'll work that plug off. Haha. Now, we can get the thermostat housing out to work on it. So there's our housing side there. There's our thermostat in the block there. Take note of the direction so we get our other one in facing the right way. You'll see we did lose a little bit of coolant indeed. And here's our replacement thermostat. It is a Murray 3899. I will have a link up here in the video and in the description below. If you'd like to order one from Amazon, that really helps us out. So they give us some kickbacks, but we're gonna go ahead and pull that thermostat out. There's one final step we need to do, and that is prep the gasket sealing surface. So we're gonna grab a little piece of red Scotch-Brite, clean that up, maybe wipe it down with some brake cleaner on a paper towel, and just make sure it's nice and shiny clean before we put the new stuff in. But let's see how much coolant this thermostat's holding back. I bet it's a lot. Wow, it's really stuck in there. Let me grab a pick tool. I would have lost that bet, ladies and gentlemen. Touche. Alright, so we got to clean up that surface there and this surface here, and then we're ready to reinstall. Come on, this is proving to be pretty easy. Alright, so I'm going to show you the cleaning on this outlet pipe here because it's the easiest to get to and show. And then I'll do the other one off camera. But I don't have any red Scotch-Brite, which is my favorite way of cleaning it. I'm out of it right now. But the other option is a wire wheel, or in the case of the down below, I actually have a wire like toothbrush that I'm going to use to clean that one. But you're going to want to shove a paper towel down into each one of them to make sure none of the nasties gets thrown back into the cooling system. And then in this case, we'll just hit this with our wire wheel here. We're throwing paper towels, but that down over the edge. God.
12 seconds later.
Alright, we're back. I got a die grinder powered Scotch-Brite. So this is going to take care of this no problem. Hold this up. This is why I like Scotch-Brite. Though obviously the die grinder wheel does it the best, but look how clean and shiny that is. Now, I'm pretty sure I can fit it down in there. If not, I'm gonna have my work cut out for me down on that side of it, but I'm gonna shove a paper towel in there. Like I said, I'm gonna do that off screen because you can't really see in there, but basically you want it to look just like this. And with the links in the description, I will also have handheld Scotch-Brite. And you can also try scraping it with a razor blade, just don't dig into the surface. But yeah, just get it clean however you got to do it. Here we go. So now we're gonna go ahead and reach down in here. Hopefully you can see this. We're gonna stick our new thermostat in now that everything is nice and clean, and just get it engaged in there. Actually, let me look at it real quick. Does it have a bleeder hole on it? It does not. Okay, let's get it set in there and pressed in there very carefully. All right, so now it's sitting in its respective spot. We're gonna gently put our thermostat housing back in over it, and then get our bolts started, finger started first, and then we'll snug it up with a ratchet. I'll look up the torque spec, I will relay it to y'all, and we will torque it down to the proper torque and button everything up. All right, here we go. My bolts are snugged up. Now we just gotta torque them. It is 25 Newton meters or 18 foot-pounds. But I'm gonna get those torqued up real quick, and then we just plug our throttle body back in, get our coolant line to the overflow tank or expansion tank on, put our duct that we took off back on, and we're ready to start filling this puppy with coolant. Well, as you can see by this giant mess under the car, I started to lead everybody completely astray at the end of this. So to fill and bleed this system, you do not do what you normally do, which is leave that cap off and let it gargle down. Nope, there's a bleed screw right here, 7mm. You need to take that out, then top it off until it comes out of that hole and bleeds the air off, then reseal that, then top up that reservoir, put the cap on it. Otherwise, it's just gonna throw a bunch of coolant out at you like it did me right there. Learned that lesson quick and the hard way, so now I got a mess on my hands.